Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Voyager class Origin Wheeljack from the Transformers Legacy United line from Hasbro. The trio is now complete. Very excited for this release. We've had Origin Bumblebee, we've had Origin Jazz. We were wondering if we were going to get an Origin Wheeljack, and it has happened, and I am so pumped. All three of the Autobots we saw get these weird Cybertronian modes in those first 3 episodes are now here, and I think this is going to be super exciting. You can see Wheeljack's vehicle mode here on the front. Some nice artwork of Wheeljack in robot mode here on the side. Over here you have the standard, like, 1/2 of the United mural. Not really too much going on the bottom. Got the Legacy United logo there on the top. And I think it is interesting to note that this is a Target exclusive, as were Bumblebee and Jazz. But Bumblebee and Jazz were part of that buzzworthy Bumblebee line that was like an exclusive line to Target. I think that line is dead now. They're just not using that name anymore, and they're just putting it under Legacy United. But it is still a Target exclusive. I got this one on Target's website. I pre-ordered it. But actually, because of the Circle Week they have going on right now, they have 30% off all Transformers, and I did see it in store, I think, yesterday. So if you're looking for this one, definitely check your Targets. They are showing up in store, and if you can find one, you get it for 30% off if you have Target Circle. So save that money. Over here on the back, we have some nice product shots of the robot mode and the vehicle mode, and he does have the like giant shield piece that we saw in the episode where he kind of raises the shields when they're about to fight the Decepticons, which apparently he can wear as like a weird wing on the back. I think there's also a way you can turn it into like a strip of track, so we'll check that out. It can also store inside. You can see opens up. And also, Bumblebee in vehicle mode can store inside, just like in the episode, which I think is fantastic. And that is the reason why I believe this guy has been upscaled to Voyager, even though the other two are deluxes. He's about the same size in robot mode, as we'll see. But, he transforms into this, massive vehicle. He can actually fit Bumblebee inside, which is really cool. I think that's really neat. Oh, you know what? I think this is actually... So it's kind of funny at first because it's the same color. I thought they were saying that this piece could fold up, but that actually is Bumblebee, just for whatever reason depicted as this like translucent dark blue piece. So they are showing you that Bumblebee can fit inside, but because it's the same color, I thought they were saying this piece could store inside. That's kind of funny. In any case, let's go ahead. Let's get Wheeljack out of the packaging here. I'm super excited. Let's take a closer look. Here is Wheeljack out of the packaging. I think he looks phenomenal. I mean, he definitely has a lot of kibble, but I think that's understandable for what he's going to transform into. And honestly, it is such a transformation. I'm kind of marveling at how they did this. He does have a pretty huge backpack, although honestly, it does compress pretty decently. And it's just like 2 big flat panels. It doesn't really bother me all that much. Again, I feel like it's in service to something, greater than itself because the alt mode is so amazing. He also has a lot of kibble around the, back of the legs and the side of the legs. And again, it's all for what needs to happen. It's not too bad from the front, even from the inside, but definitely from the side and from the back, he's got a lot of kibble hanging off there. But again, you have to know what you're getting into going into this, and I think, certain allowances have to be made because it's just not physically possible to do a completely clean robot mode and have it transform into what it's going to transform into. So I'm totally fine with it. He looks good. I mean, he looks like Wheeljack. I think he's very recognizable. You have this kind of, roof of the car and windshield section from the Earth mode. That's not really going to come into play here. I think the head sculpt looks really good. The eyes are painted nicely blue. Got some nice kind of gunmetal gray metallic paint here, looking real sharp. The eyes are very recessed though, so it's kind of hard to show them here, but they are a very nice blue. All of this paint here looks really nice. We do kind of return back to translucent plastic, which I kind of don't, like. I wish they had stuck with... They can't seem to make their mind up, or maybe they just want to sell this to me later a second time with, white plastic painted blue. I might fall for it. We'll see. But there's going to be a little bit of translucent plastic for windows, which we'll see along the way. It is what it is. But yeah, he's a fun little guy. I definitely feel like he's kind of short and squat, just to kind of bring in the other two. We have Origins Jazz and Origins Bumblebee here. So you can see that they're about the same size. Obviously, Bumblebee's a little shorter, but I feel like he should be. That's to be expected. But yeah, he definitely doesn't seem like a Voyager in height. But like I said, he's got the bulk of a Voyager. He's got all that extra plastic. It's very solid. It's very nice. I promise it's going to pay off. But yeah, these three look really cool together. I love this. I love seeing these two together. Or I should say all three together. Is really cool. It's a neat idea. And it's kind of funny that you can tell kind of Bumblebee was the first, just because I think he's, I don't want to say least successful, but they've only gotten better as they've gone. So you can see that they've kind of learned from each one and refined it. And, you know, like this is definitely Bumblebee, you know, had to crawl so that he could walk and he could run. Like that's basically how this works. But yeah, this is really, really cool. I really like this a lot. I love seeing the three of them here together. I want more, but we know there aren't more. So unless they wanted to just dream up some stuff for Optimus or Hound, or I think Prowl was there, maybe not Hound. I mean, technically they could do one for Soundwave, but I mean, you can kind of do it with any Soundwave you have. You just kind of half transform them, so I feel like that doesn't really count. I know Optimus and Prowl were in a scene right before they took off in the Ark. They've kind of tried to give us the Tetrajets with Siege. You know, I feel like that's about as successful as that can get. And those, I feel like I could take, you know, Siege, Starscream and put them with these guys, but it's just not quite the same. It just doesn't quite fit. It doesn't have that same kind of charm to it. I don't know why. It's just kind of its own thing. Siege is just kind of its own thing. These are a very small microcosm of their own thing. This is the more than meets the eye collection, and I don't know that they could give us more of them. I love them. I mean, if they wanted to take another run at the Tetrajet, but it would have, if they were going to do it, it would have to literally be like a completely closed triangle for it to work, and I just don't think that's possible. So I kind of think this is the end of the line, but what a fantastic ride it's been, and I couldn't be happier, honestly. Alright, so let's get into Wheeljack's articulation. The head is on a ball joint. You can kind of look up a little bit, look down a little bit, certainly spin side to side, no problem. You can even tilt side to side a little bit, so decent range of motion there. Of course, you have a rotation here in the shoulder, as well as a hinge out to the side. Bicep swivel, I would say pretty solid 90 degrees there in the elbow. You do have a wrist swivel, which will also be very important for the transformation. You have a waist swivel. You just kind of have to make sure. I mean, the nice thing is the backpack kind of stays out so that it doesn't really get in the way. You can really move this all the way around and it's not hindering any articulation, which is nice. Kick pretty far forward. We move the arm out of the way, and then we can kick pretty far to the side. Kick decently far back until you hit into that backpack, but honestly not bad. Thigh swivel there. Now, as you can see, as I start to move some things, you know, some of this kibble sometimes is going to kind of pop off. It's kind of pegged into itself and then pegged into itself and then pegged in another time, so we'll do what we can. But honestly, for the most part, it stays together pretty solidly, I would say, most of the time. You do have a knee bend there with all of this bulk, and then you have a complete ball joint for the ankles. So a little bit of front to back kind of knocking off this tab here. And it might just be mine. I don't know why this one doesn't like to stay tabbed in. It just might be, sometimes you get one of those things where it just doesn't want to stay together. But honestly, this one's been holding fine, so maybe it's just this one. But again, you get a full ball joint there, so you can do side to side ankle tilt, front to back. Really nice range of motion there. I don't know why, he seems a little stubby to me. I don't know why. I think maybe it's just because of his bulk, and then like his arms and legs are just a little short. Like I would like his arms to be a little bit longer. I'd like his thighs to be a little longer. But again, I'm fine with it. It's in service to a greater purpose, which we'll get into very soon. His accessories, so he does come with a small gun, which is done in the translucent green plastic and then painted silver, but they did leave the paint off of the effect port piece, or effect piece port. Yeah, I don't know. Say that 3 times fast. And then you have this little connection down here, so he can either hold it, if you like. You can pop it onto the shoulder to kind of complete his look, whichever you prefer there. And then he's got these two pieces, which are meant to go on the front. There's a scene in that, you know, very early on, in the first episode when him and Bumblebee are retreating, where these kind of pop out, like little propeller blades pop out and spin, and that helps him cut through the wall of fire. There's a Decepticon with a flamethrower. I'll see if I can put up some pictures in here. But basically, there's a Decepticon with a flamethrower. He shoots out a ring of fire. These things pop out and spin, and then they can, get through the fire that way. I've also seen some people online compare these to the episode where they take mind control of the Constructicons, and so they pop something that looks fairly similar to this onto each one of them, and then it helps the mind control. So I guess it could be a dual purpose, because you can also like pop this on here, and in that episode, I'm going to take this off so I can do it because it's being a little annoying. There we go. Pop that on. Because I think in that episode, he popped it on the end of his gun, and then he fired it, and it landed like on the back of one of the Constructicons. So again, it's meant to be that propeller piece, but I guess it could serve a dual purpose because it kind of looks enough like that you could use it for that. If you want, you can store them here on the back. They can pop on here, no issue. So you can have a little storage for that. And then the last accessory is this piece of track. So this is how it comes in the packaging in a completely kind of vertical orientation. And then it's meant to be like a piece of track. You can pop these off, which I really don't like to do because it feels, well, this is actually getting a little easier. Okay, that was easier that time. So you're supposed to pop these on. Now let me think about this. It should go like, hold on, is this the way I just had it? Do I have to flip them? I don't know. I have to look at this, but no, because that's going to put it on just the way I had it. Hold on, let me consult the directions. Because they're supposed to go on at an angle. Okay, so you have this piece like this, and then this needs to go on like this. I don't know. This is one of those, oh, I see, you have to pop it on the other piece. Okay, that's what it is. That's why it was confusing me, because I'm like, it's like one of these like puzzle games. So you have to pop it on the other connection port. I feel dumb. Feel free to make fun of me in the comments. So you connect it on like this. That way you can bend it, and then it's going to go on the vehicle as that shield. But if you want, in the robot mode, you can take this, and there are two little connection spots right here and here that will peg on right there and there. And so you pop this on like so. If you want to give him giant wings for some reason, never happened in the show, makes him incredibly back heavy. You can see he wants to fall over. I have to kind of pitch him forward. And it's a thing, you can do it. I'm not going to do it, but we'll go ahead and pop this off. So there you go. That is a thing you can do. I do like the storage for these. I think that works, but I'm going to go ahead and take them off as we get ready for the transformation. And yeah, ultimately, I think he's fun. I think he looks good. I think the articulation's good. Yes, the robot mode has a lot of kibble, but we're about to pay off why it has all that kibble. Let's get into the transformation. Okay, so I've gone ahead, removed all the accessories. This is going to be a fun one. I think this is a lot of fun, but it's a lot of panels, so we'll see how it goes. So we're going to start off by flipping this panel here up. You're going to rotate the hand so that kind of the skinnier section is facing this way, because it's going to have to rotate in. And if you try to do it the width way, it's gonna snag. So you have to make sure it's kind of, the slimmest part is facing this way so that we can rotate this all the way inside like so. Then you're going to take this and bend it. Hold on, let me bring this up. This goes like this. And now I'm confusing myself. Yeah, this goes like this. So this little tab here is going to sit into this little section here. So this comes up and pegs into that, which is pretty cool. So once again, this flips open, rotate the hand, rotate that in, bring this up, and then kind of bring this down like so, and then bring this around so that it can sit in that little notch. And then we'll leave his arms like that for now. We're going to rotate the head 180 degrees like so. We are going to unhook this section and then kind of unhook this. So the way this works is actually kind of cool. These little pieces here to kind of give them those wings over the shoulders, there's little notches, and this whole piece kind of pegs into them. So you can see how there's kind of like a little slit right there and right there. That's for this to rest in. So you want to kind of bring that up and it'll kind of fold like that. And then when you want to bring this down, you can utilize, there's kind of a pin here and a pin here, and then you want it to sit down like that. That will give you clearance to rotate these pieces in. But it also kind of keeps the backpack pegged onto the back in the robot mode. I think that's really cool. Very simple, works really well. Then we're going to spin the waist 180 degrees. We're going to take this section, this where the head is connected will just pop out like so. And then there's a double hinge. You can see that there and there. This is going to come down. So you can see that there was a little slot right there that this tab pegged into. And now it's going to peg in down here. So you're going to bring this all the way down. And then that's going to peg in there. Just like that. Next, we're going to close these up over the head. And you can see how they have these little teeth. So you have to kind of line those up so that they will close, mesh together. And then you have that. So that will kind of hang there for the moment. Now we come to the part of opening all of the panels on the legs. So we're going to start off by opening these like so. We are going to flip these up like that. This is going to rotate around like this and kind of just loosely sit there for the moment. This is going to open up. We're going to bring the feet out a little bit so that we have room. This is going to open up like this. This will fold down. Just kind of open up all of these panels. There's just a lot of panels everywhere. So open this, open this. I believe this panel. Well, before we do that, we should bring the feet up. So once you have this all kind of opened up like this, you can actually swivel the feet around 180, and then they'll kind of come up and sit in there. So we'll do the same thing over here. Bring this around 180, bring this up and sit that in there. That'll give you some clearance to open up all these pieces. So this panel will flip around. This will flip around. This will unhook like this. So you can just, so many panels. There's just so many panels. Then there's a hinge here. You need to kind of unhook this like that. There we go. And then that will kind of give you the line up to line these pieces up. And these will all tab together like so. There we go. So this will kind of come up and sit in this area. You'll bring this up. There's a tiny little slot right there for this little tab. So this will pop up. And then these will go underneath. There we go. That's all connected there. And then this will kind of all pop underneath here like this. So bring this in. Do the same on this side. There we go. This section will swivel around, and then this will just kind of sit in there. So swivel this around, sit this in here, and then this will flip up, and I don't have this quite straightened out. And then this top section will come down. These two tabs right here will go in there. These two tabs here will click into these areas. So you just kind of bring this down, snap this in. Whoops. It's a lot of lining everything up. And unfortunately, this section has come undone from itself. But I promise it does work. Bring this all in Once you get it, it's really nice and solid. It's just a question of lining everything up. There we go. And then the last step is to take, not the whole thing, just the translucent green part, and flip this around. And there are two tiny little tabs that will tab in right here and here. So that tabs in like that. And there you go. You have the finished Wheeljack vehicle mode. I can't begin to tell you how happy this makes me. The fact that the robot we were just looking at can completely transform into this box. Like, I know it's not the most amazing alt mode in terms of it's just a box, but I don't care. I love it. I love it so much. Honestly, it's so fun, and it's so amazingly accurate to the first appearance, you know, in that episode 40 years ago when they just had him transform into this weird box. But it's so great. I can't believe it. I mean, when you look underneath, there's not even like a ton of robot kibble. Like, yes, you can see the head there, and there's the chest plate here, and, you know, technically you could tell maybe that these are feet. But this is just so well done, and it's so fun. I just love it. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about his accessories. So we have that little gun. If you want, you can pop that on there. Of course, these pieces are meant to clip on here, like so. And that works very well. And then if you have this piece, you can go ahead and bend it like this. And there are these tiny little spots right there and right there. And they have these little spots right here on the side. So you just pop this on and they just peg on there very simply. And now he has his, you know, shields up. Works perfect. I love it. I think that's so good. Easy enough to take on and off. Very, very cool. But of course, if I can take this off, we have to show them off with the other two Origins Autobots in vehicle mode. So we got Bumblebee here, the oldest one. A valiant effort. You definitely have a couple of spots of where the yellow plastic and the painted yellow areas don't really match, but it was a solid first attempt. I still think Jazz is pretty amazing. I love this alt mode. It's crazy and it's fantastic, and they did a really nice job with this. Now he has a lot of robot kibble underneath, but still very, very cool. And if you have your Origins Bumblebee, he came with these energy conductors, which I have to just point out real quick. These are like starting to break down on mine. You can kind of see the weird bubbles in the plastic. This one's not as bad as this one, but I don't know what's going on with these. They're like starting to, luckily they're not sticky or anything. Sometimes when plastic starts to break down, it gets sticky, but they have like a weird texture to them now. The ends are okay, but this middle section, yeah, it's just starting to deteriorate. So that's kind of a bummer. But if you have these, you can see right here, there are little clips for them. So in that scene, Bumblebee and Wheeljack are together trying to find energy, and they get these little conductor pieces, and there you go. They can peg onto the side. You can put 2 on each side, because I think Bumblebee came with 4. I could only find 2, but it gets the point across. That's really cool. I mean, that's like a level of, you know, going back and finding those accessories and making sure they fit, and that's just perfect. But, the piece de resistance, you can open this up, just like in the episode. Now, technically, the roof didn't open when this happened, but the little ramp comes down. You do have to take Bumblebee and fold this piece up, and then fold it like this. Do the same here on this side. Push that down. But when he's injured in battle, he can fly right up the ramp and fit right inside. Just like so. Then you can close the ramp up and close this back down. And he is riding inside. It's a little... There we go. I just have to line everything up. See, I'm missing... Is he busting out the sides here? What's going on? No, he's good. He's good. He's good. There we go. There we go. Bumblebee fits inside, just like in the episode. That is so cool. That is amazing. I cannot believe that. I mean, to design this toy around Origins Bumblebee, which had to be at least 3 years ago, I mean, that's so cool. I mean, they could have easily not bothered to do that, but they did it. They even have the conductors clipping onto the side here. That is so cool. I mean, you can completely recreate that scene. You can have him fly inside. You can have the shields go up. These things pop out. They blast through the firewall. Off to Iacon. I have no words. That's amazing. That's perfect. It's everything I could have possibly wanted. It's perfect. Origin Wheeljack is just so much fun. Honestly, this toy makes me so happy. The robot mode looks good. The vehicle mode is amazing. The fact that this robot turns into this complete box, Bumblebee can fit inside. Just everything about it is so perfect. I'm so glad that they did him last, because I feel like they needed to kind of take their steps to get to him. Like I said, Origin Bumblebee was fine. Not perfect, but fine. Jazz was even better, and I think this guy's the best out of the three. So they've only gotten better as they've gone on. I will say that the arms and legs feel a little stumpy. I wish he was a little bit taller, but again, in service to the vehicle mode, which is definitely the mode that steals the show here, I'm fine with everything that they've done. They pulled off the vehicle mode so perfectly, and the robot mode is very, very good. It's not like a situation where, you know, one mode is trash. I definitely think one is better than the other, but I'm perfectly fine with what they've given us for this robot mode here in service to that vehicle mode, because it's just so much fun. I just love it. You can really recreate that scene from the original episode of the show 40 years ago. I'm just in awe of this thing. It's so fun to mess around with. I really, really like it a lot. If you're a fan of the original G1 cartoon at all, I would definitely advise you to track this one down. It shouldn't be too hard. Like I said, it is popping up at Targets now in store. And if you can get it before Saturday, you're going to get that 30% off. So I definitely advise you guys to try to do that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love it. And I don't really have any notes. I mean, yes, I could complain that he's got a lot of kibble on the back or on the legs, but there's no point. We all know why, and it's because this guy just needs to turn into a complete box, and I love it so much. In any case, I'm just gushing at this point. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.